You keep hiring more people to get more freedom from your business. But you realize that as you hire more people, you just end up with more work on your plate. And if you find that that's happening in your business, it's not that you're hiring the wrong people, it's because your business is lacking three things. And without those three things in your business, there is no way that you will be able to exit the day-to-day running of your business. Now, the good news is that your business has got to a size where you do need people. Maybe you've already got people who are running some of the mundane tasks in your business or some of the core functions in your business. But now you are making hires that can actually take away the management time of your business and how involved you are in the business. So generally speaking, at this stage, you've got at least 500,000 in revenue, sometimes a million in revenue, depending on the ticket size of your actual product or service. But you've grown to a size where you definitely need more people to ensure that you're no longer working 40, 50, 60, and in some business owners' cases that we talk to, up to 80 hours in a week. And if you're in that position where you're working 50, 60, 70 hours a week in your business, you probably haven't taken a holiday for a long time. Now, one of the first things that we do when we're working with business owners to help them exit the day-to-day and exit their business is make them take something called the owner vacation test. And you can actually also take the owner vacation test by clicking the link in the description. You can answer a few questions in a quiz, and it will show you how dependent your business is on you and how you can actually exit the day-to-day running of the business. So click the link in the description and take the test now. Now, coming back to your business, you have got a business in which you've got leads coming in on a daily or weekly basis, whether that's through outbound efforts or inbound marketing. You've got sales generated consistently to ensure that you've got predictable revenue that's coming in on a weekly, monthly, daily basis, whatever it may be. And you've got the delivery team who's delivering the product or service of your business. Now, you may be involved in one or two or even more of those functions of the business. And the time has come for you to not only exit out those core functions, which I call the operational exit, but maybe you want to actually hand over the management of your team to someone else as well. Whichever the case may be, you need to have three things in place to ensure that you can actually exit those functions and exit those roles and the business not fall apart. And if you're watching this video, then you know just hiring people is not the answer, but hiring people and doing something else is going to give you the freedom that you want from your business. Now, one of the first things that you want to do as a founder is to eliminate tasks, steps in your business that you may feel is necessary, but actually aren't necessary for the success of your business. As business owners, sometimes we can add things into our business without realizing that we think are valuable, but don't actually bring any value to either the business in the form of revenue or some sort of positive outcome for the business or a positive outcome for your customers or your staff. And if you're doing something in your business where actually it's just admin for the sake of admin, that's like the worst type of task that you can have in your business, is admin for the sake of admin. You want to try to eliminate those from your business. That's the first thing that you should always be working on. Now, once you've gone through the elimination task, the next thing that you need to do is you need to write down what you are doing in your business. That's you as a founder, as a business owner, what are you doing? And only once you've written it down do you have a clear idea of what you're actually doing on a day-to-day level in your business. A lot of business owners are surprised when we get them to write down. They think that they're only doing one or two things in their business, meaning in terms of functions. But when they write it down, they're actually doing a lot more. And this is where you really be able to see and have clarity on your role within your business. Now, only once you've done all of this, where you know exactly what you're doing in your business, can you go down the route of hiring. And by the way, when I say hiring, today, in the day of systems and AI, and I mean technology and AI, there are systems that you can implement and use, and there's AI that you can put into place, which can actually take the place of some of the things that you're doing in your business. Now, it's not always the case that you actually want to hand over something to a system, to technology or AI, but there are certain things where it does make sense for you to do that. But the way I look at it is that if it's something which is like a mundane, repeatable task, which doesn't have an impact on your clients, then I just automate a lot of that stuff. So I'm doing more and more automation and AI in my businesses, but it's with responsibility. So it's like, what's the touch points that we're having with our customers and how they're reacting to these systems and the AI. And there have been cases in our businesses where we have actually stripped back the AI and put in humans back into the particular functions that we introduce AI to. So there's a lot of AI still happening, but some areas you need to be responsible on how the AI and systems are being used. So when I say hiring, what systems and AI can be used responsibly, and then what are the functions that I want to hire for. Only once you have clarity on that can you start delegating those tasks to a hire or to people. Now, I just want to make it very clear, because hiring people is a very expensive thing, especially if you're in one of the mature economies. There's a minimum wage, there's taxes, there's so much that needs to go on when it comes down to hiring people, and then there's just the people element of hiring people, where people are unpredictable. Then how much can you hand over to your existing team? That is something that needs to be considered before you go to make a hire, right? Because hiring adds so much onto the payroll bill, and it can reduce the gross profit margins and the overall margins that you have in your business. So you really want to be responsible as to how much you want to hand over to a new hire versus existing people in your business. But even before you do all of that, you need to do the first thing that's missing from your business, and that's design the processes and workflows that form the core functions of your business. Because without having the workflows and the core functions of your business, you can hire as many people as you want. You can have 20 people in your team in one department, and no one's going to know what to do without a system or a process which is repeatable, dependable in your business. Every single business needs certain core functions in their business. Number one, you need to be able to get leads into the business. That's the marketing function. Number two, you need to be able to convert those leads into sales. So that's the sales function. Number three, you need to be able to do the delivery of your product or service. That's the delivery function. Number four, you need to be able to have customer service in your business, that you can service your customers after you've done the delivery or while you're doing the delivery. So that's fourth function. And number five, you need to be able to collect the cash, right? Collect the actual money from your customers. Now, a lot of this cash collection can be automated with systems, but let's just leave that as a separate function, because without you getting money, there is no business, right? So in these five core functions, now you've obviously got the people element in terms of recruitment and HR, but I'm going to leave that to a side at the moment, because these are the ways that your business is actually generating revenue and generating money for your business. What are the core functions? What are the marketing functions in your business? What are the sales functions in your business? Meaning the processes and the workflows that a customer needs to go through to be able to become a lead. What are the workflows of the sales? How does a lead need to go through to become an actual customer? What are the workflows and the processes to get, once a person becomes a customer and says yes and hands over some money to you to, and they've converted as a sale, how do you get them to deliver? So you need to start designing and building the workflows in your business. Now, one of the big mistakes that we see with business owners is that they try to go really detailed in every single step in when they're building the core functions of the business. You don't need to do that. All you need to have is the steps laid out. So let's say, for example, you've got 3 steps in marketing, and you've got 3 steps in sales, and then you've got 4 steps in delivery, and then you've got 2 steps in customer service, and you've got 2 steps in finance, for argument's sake, in customer collection or cash collection. That's what you need to write down. And only once you've got that written down can you hand that over to a team member, whether that's someone who's existing in your business or someone who is going to be a new hire. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that we see is that business owners, they have these people in their business, but the staff members keep coming back to them, coming back to the owner. How do I do this? What do I do this? Customer said this. What do I say here? Right? And that's what you need to have written down, that 80% of what happens in your business is normally centered around the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of questions and scenarios that your customers and your staff members go through. So you want to write down what are the most common things that happen in your business, and your staff members can go to the system instead of going to you. And that's why you don't need to hire people or new people when your existing people can go to those systems and actually get the answers instead of coming to you. So my phone, look, I've got more than 100 employees. My phone hardly rings. Okay, I hardly get any emails. Why? Because the systems are built out. Our clients that we work with, their phones and their emails drastically reduce, meaning they get hardly no more phone calls once they work with us, because they've designed those systems to ensure that everything is answered through those systems. Now, once you've got the system set up, the first things set up in your business, the second thing that you need to do is that you need to have accountability with regards to each area of those systems or each step in the workflow. So let's say, for example, in your business, you need to have at least 15 new leads in a day, right? Every single day you need minimum 15 new leads. You now give that to your marketing person, right? This business has to generate at least 15 leads in a day. And if it doesn't, then you need to do X, Y, Z to ensure that those 15 leads are coming in on a daily basis. Out of those 15 leads, we need to have at least 5 sales in a day. Out of those 5 sales in a day, we need to ensure that 100% of those sales are being delivered upon within a 2 or 3 day period, for argument's sake, whatever the sales cycle or the delivery cycle is in your business. So you have set days and set times, set metrics that you can measure those processes and those steps in those workflows with. And once you have those metrics and accountabilities, you can hand those to your existing team members. Let's say you've got 2 salespeople and they're having a certain number of calls a day, but they need to be converting at 40%, or 30%. That's more realistic. So they need to be converting at 30%, and that 30% means that if they have, for example, 9 sales calls in a day, that they need to be converting at least 3 of them per person. So that becomes the metric that the salesperson owns. So now everything becomes a lot clearer in your business, because not only that the people know each step in the system and the workflows, but they also have an accountability number that they've been given. So each person knows exactly what they're doing. That also gives you a lot more clarity, because you can start measuring your business through numbers as opposed to measuring your business through people. Yes, this is really important. Now, you need people, of course, or you need systems, but you need numbers more than people. You need people to be able to do those numbers, right? And that's why you get a lot more clarity around your business. The next thing that you need to do, you also need to be able to give your people, and this is the last thing that's probably missing from your business right now, is to give your people the authority to be able to make decisions without having to refer to you. Now, this does not mean that you give your people the authority to make decisions that could technically bankrupt your business, right? But you do give them a level of authority in your business. Essentially, you're delegating authority to a certain threshold level in your business. So let's take the example of service delivery. So let's say that you have a manager who is ensuring that your customers are being serviced. So let's say that that manager has identified a tool that is going to help them in becoming more efficient in delivering the service to your customers. Give them the authority to purchase it, right? As long as it's not over a certain budget, then you give them the authority to go ahead and purchase it. Then all of a sudden, what you see is that your service delivery goes from, for example, 5 days down to 3 days. You've just become more efficient and therefore more profitable in your business, because you can have more input of marketing and sales and have more delivery within a shorter period of time. And only when you give your manager the authority to be able to do that will they do it, because they're waiting for you currently. Currently, they're waiting for you to be the person who says, right, I want to do this. Instead of you saying that, right, I want you to ensure that you do the best job for our customers and you're able to deliver in the most efficient way. You'll be surprised that the responsible team members in your business, and I just want to caveat this, the responsible team members in your business do have ideas, and maybe they're being limited by you. And maybe that's not intentional, but you just haven't given them the authority to be able to come to you with ideas and to be able to come to you with things that they think that can make your business better. And why wouldn't you want your business to be better? Of course you want your business to be better, because therefore you'll end up making more money. And ideally, in this case, have more time away from your business so that your people can manage the business without you. Now, let's say you've got those 3 things in place. You've got the systems in place, you've got the metrics in place, the accountabilities, and you've given your existing team the authority, and they're at complete capacity. And this is the only time that you'll make the hire, because they're at complete capacity, or there is something that your existing team members are inherently, intrinsically unable to do because they don't have the skills. That's when you will go out and make the other hire. And that's when making the hire becomes a lot more clearer. Making that hire will give you the freedom that you wanted to have in the first place. And once you've made that hire, then you train them on your systems, you give them the accountability numbers, and you give them the authority to be able to make decisions without you up until the threshold that you're comfortable with. And that's when you can start stepping back from the business and getting the freedom that you want. Generally speaking, once you have these things in place, most of the time with the existing team, without making any additional hires, but sometimes with additional hires, you can get back anything from 1 to 3 days in your business per week. That's 52 to 156 days a year that you can get back from your business. What would you do if you had an extra 52 days, 104 days, or 156 days back per year? What would you do? You could grow your business even faster. You can work on the strategy on your business, or you can just simply spend more time with the people that you love and the people that you want to spend more time with, or to do the things that you want to do. That's when you can truly exit the day-to-day running of your business. Exiting the day-to-day of your business does not mean that you completely let go of everything. It just means that you're running your business from a dashboard, because you now know every area of your business and what needs to be generated for you to be able to take the profit from your business that you want to take out from your business. And then once you're running your business from a dashboard, you can be in your business, you can be on site, you can be off site, but you know the things are being done. And yes, you need to be checking up on them, because sometimes this is what I found in like one of my businesses especially, is that the data sometimes is inaccurate. So you need to be able to spot those inaccuracies. And that's just quality assurance with regards to the metrics that your business is run on, and to ensure that you've got oversight of your business. So you still need to be responsible. But when you've got all of this in place and you've got the right accountabilities, it's easier for you to run your business from a dashboard and to actually have the freedom that you want. Now, once you end up in this position, you've got many options. Keep the business, work less. Or you can keep the business and grow the business even more. Or you can actually start building a pathway to exit the business completely and sell it to a third party. That's when you can actually have a big payday when you go to sell your business. But whatever the case is right now, you need to start by identifying where your business is right now. And for that, you can take that on a vacation test, which is in the link in the description. Click that link, take the quiz, and see where your business is right now. On this channel, we talk about how business owners can exit the business, whether that's the day-to-day running of the business or complete exit. Continue watching videos on this channel, and I'll see you on the next video.